We got Mrs. Puff, who is a driving teacher and everything, who teaches SpongeBob how to drive and still has not got his license. We got Larry the Lobster, who has been pretty much a character who is a lifeguard and pretty much supposed to be acting like a bro and everything. We got William Fancy Son, who is supposed to be Swillward's rival, but he's not an interesting one at all to be a rival. One of my favorites, the Flying Dutchman, who is a ghost pirate, and perhaps I might be doing a review episode of him after the top 10. He is a ghost pirate who has a ghost ship and sometimes be in his grave. We'll get more to him in this video soon. And we also got Plankton, who is supposed to be Mr. Krabs' rival who used to be friends, but now hate each other a lot. So much. Who's been trying to steal the secret formula from Mr. Krabs for like 20 years now. And also we got Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, who sadly the voice actor who did Mermaid Man is now dead. And Barnacle Boy might be still alive, the voice actor. They're superheroes and they're retiring in the show. They're actually really funny if you think about it. And finally, but not least, we got the Dirty Bubble and Man Ray, who are supposed to be two rivals, well actually two villains of, you know what I mean, the superhero retiring psychic. We'll get into this after I'm done speaking about all these. Okay, I'm pretty sure you're all tired of hearing about that. So what is this one supposed to be about? Well, this one's actually going to be discussing about a few of the characters in the show. But it's also going to discuss about something else as well. This will actually discuss about some of the background characters, about they've been pretty much all been reused. You see, in the show, we have been pretty much been getting more and more seasons with more and more episodes in them. So many episodes that it's going to take forever to finish up a season. That takes years and years. What I really mean is, this is pretty much using up the series. I'm talking about the plot, everything. How can I say this right? It sounds like I'm putting in different things in. I'm talking about the show that has been going on for so long now, it's getting run into the ground. And a lot of these characters have pretty much already served their purpose in the show. Like, William has really never been an interesting rival. He was never actually my favorite. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying his character was bad. He was just a person who was just the least interest in me. They could actually been way more better rivals if the show was actually making them, getting them into like fights or something and giving them a competition where each one might randomly win. And the one who loses doesn't really matter, but it's still good. Yeah. Larry has been pretty much been all used up. Doesn't really have that good much of a purpose. Mrs. Puff has also been really used up. She has pretty much served her purpose of being a driving teacher in the show. I think it's time for her to actually finally give SpongeBob that license, and then actually kick him out, and then like give Mrs. Puff a new house, leaving Bikini Bottom, or giving her a new student or something. And SpongeBob finally had his driving license. Or perhaps the Flying Dutchman could be put to rest finally. Because I can only see like a couple episodes left, but there's really nothing left else. Gary I kind of forgot, but oh yeah, I completely forgot about Gary. Gary has been pretty much not that big interesting. Matter of fact, he's even less interesting than... Actually, no, that's the other way around. William is like the second least. Well, number one least, William, and second, Gary. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, Mermaid Man Barnacle Boy has pretty much been retired from the show. Man Ray and the Dirty Bubble have also been used up. And Plankton has been pretty much classical same rival, nothing really changes. Trying to get the secret formula, but still, nothing really interesting is happening. Karen, his wife, everything. You get my whole entire point. A lot of these characters have been pretty much used up. That's because the show has been pretty much been running into the ground and going in for so long that the writers have not even been thinking about putting in new characters. Like, there is tons of things you should know. Like, using old stories and everything. Here's the thing, like I'm talking about, do any of you remember that very old episode where Plankton disguised himself as a robot Mr. Krabs? That episode was great. So great that it actually got 3 more times. It got this one time where Sandy got like impersonating Plankton. Plankton impersonated Sandy. Plankton impersonated Gary. And there was even one time Plankton impersonating my sister, Jennifer Kelly. Judson. What? That never happened. Would surprise you if it did, SpongeBob. Okay, no, for real. Other than that, that's my point though. There has been tons of episodes like this. Shows are getting used up so much, they're called things that, like, plot recycling. That's what I was trying to say. It means is that they are pretty much reusing an old plot of an episode and rechanging it with something different. When I was saying personating, he was personating with different characters, and they each happen in a sort of different way. And not even that good. Plot recycling might not be all that bad, but it's not all the worst. Sometimes the writers actually decide to put in useless garbage that keeps the story from running out of time and too short. Also, like all those boring long things. There's been tons of episodes like that now, and I just really don't see the show doing any more good of it. I just think they should pretty much end the show finally and end it. That's what all this boring is. The characters have all served their purpose. We're getting tons of new plot recycling. Well, then again, not really, but still, they will do this again eventually. But anyway, other than that, there's been pretty much only like a few other things. But they're not for this episode. But then again, there is a few other things. All the other characters I mentioned, Sandy has been pretty much all used up unless they're able to find new interesting inventions. Mr. Krabs is really not that interesting anymore. And Squidward is just pretty much a boring character. Everything like that. Matter of fact, there's been even some episodes you think that could have even made the characters even more better. Mrs. Puff did have like an episode that could have been special. That environment episode. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I think it was called something... Jellyfish Highway? Something where the highway drive over Jellyfish Fields. Mrs. Puff could have made an appearance in an episode where she discussed the good things about having highways in, or not having highways in. Yeah. Or, that's pretty much my point, though. Swilliam was never really an interesting rival. He only made it a few episodes, and he never been actually that interesting as a real rival. Other than that, there's pretty much it. I think it's time for the show to either bring in new characters or pretty much end what they're doing. So, that's pretty much for number 6. Bye.